Now I will tell you about the stupidity of the mob, the sheer idiocy of groupthink, those evil and nasty subhuman types who are very terroristic, very anti-human, and extremely unpleasant. What I have observed in my life is that when you are an individualist, a person who values his own freedom above groupthink, above the collective and the mob begins to gang up on you, to bully you, to ostracize you, to terrorize you, and basically to try to destroy you in every way possible. Now, it is a very interesting phenomenon because at its core it has a hidden type of drive which powers this hatred towards the individualist. And I have observed it in my own life, as I am basically always alone by myself. I have never gotten along with any group. I'm not part of any tribe. I have never felt this belonging to any type of subculture or type of group or a large collective. And I have always had this sensitivity in life, this refined perception, and I was always hurt by the mob, by the group thinkers. I was always bullied, rejected by them, and in its most extreme forms, this has turned into gang stalking. They have targeted me in my country in which I was born, and they just plain and simple hate me for no particular reason. It is not a rational hatred. It's just this type of very evil and petty type of judgment which they always project towards me. It's like I show them that there is another way to live life, that there is a better way, a more intelligent way to live life as an individualist, as a sovereign being. And they're like these stupid animals, these subhumans, these demonic hive mind subpopulace, and they don't understand my way of being, and they want to destroy me for it. They want to destroy anyone who is different from their stupid mob. They're basically a very rude, nasty, vile, aggressive mob, and they gang up on you if you show any sign of difference from their mob, their group. This fascinates me because when I think about the occult knowledge take the Aryan knowledge, for example, the knowledge in the Aryan book, which I have talked about, and you can speculate about the origins of these types of beings, the ones who are in the mob, the ones who terrorize the lone person, the individualist. They seem to be these non-player characters, these NPC types, or in the Gnostic language, they are helix. They're purely material creatures with an artificial soul gifted to them by the devil, by Lucifer. They're his creations, they're the clay people, and they have no human spirit. They have no truth in them. Their whole being is utterly false. They're made in falsehood, to propagate falsehood, to serve the agenda of falsehood, to basically be evil, to be very brutish, nasty, and animalistic, stupid creatures who just hate you for no logical reason. They just hate you for being a real human being. When they sense that you have this spirit, that you are a better kind of person, a better kind of human being than them, they just want to bring you down to their level. They want to engage you in petty squabbles, they want to destroy you, they want to crush you, terrorize you, bully you. Basically, they want to make life a living hell for you when you're not a part of their mob. And their stupidity always fascinates me. How is it possible that there are such vile and stupid creatures inhabiting my world, the world in which I live, the world in which I have my own personal space, my own sacred space, and they attempt to violate my space. They attempt to force themselves upon me, to terrorize me, to ruin my life. How is it possible that there are such stupid creatures? And why are they given the Aryan tech to mess with it? Why are these police types, these national security types, these intelligence community types, these secret society types, these types of Muslim gypsy terrorists or dark-skinned terrorists, these are the ones they also employ a lot, especially in Europe, in the falling Western civilization, which the forces of evil want to utterly destroy and annihilate. And why are they giving my tech from Aryan to those subhumans? Why are they ganging up on me and gang stalking me? Why are they such nasty, vile and stupid creatures? What makes them so stupid, I wonder. And when you think about it, you begin to realize that they are not truly human. Plain and simple. They're just these anti-human NPC types, these evil humanoid types inhabiting human bodies who just follow orders. This is their biggest error. This is how every evil tyranny on earth is propagated, by stupid people, by the stupidity of group thinkers, by the stupidity of communist thinking. Communism never worked. It never gave people free energy. It did not give real energy to people. It did not give freedom to people. It just tortured, murdered innocent people. It killed spiritual people. It killed off its population by famine. This bad ideology never worked. And these communist terrorist types are always evil. It is a rule. Basically, their whole regime, their ideology, is based upon falsehood. They could never win a fight against me using argumentation. They could never best my logic. They could never beat my common sense because they lack such common sense. They don't even understand the basic concept of human rights. They do not know what the right to life means. They do not know what the right to freedom and to property means. They don't respect these rights. That they don't want people to have private property. They don't want people to have their personal space. They just want everybody to be cooped up like some dumb farm animals and to suffer in misery, in each other's misery, to wallow in this nasty communistic misery. And these types are terrorizing me. Basically, they're gang stalking me. They want to destroy people such as me. And these types, they are allowed to get away with it, which is very criminal. It is insane. It shouldn't be this way. They should not have this technology in their hands. They should not be allowed to gang stalk. They should not be allowed to stalk people. They should not be allowed to intrude in the personal space of another sovereign being. But they violate every one of these basic humane principles because they are not human after all. They do not value humane principles because they do not respect humanity. They hold no regard towards humanity. They would basically kill off everyone who does not agree with their insanity, with their stupid ideology, and they try to enforce their stupidity on society. It is utterly insane how stupid they are. They cannot beat basic common sense. They cannot beat biology. People are predetermined by their DNA. Everything about a human is contained in the DNA. The quality of life, the type of consciousness, the level of consciousness a human being carries, it can all be predetermined by his genetics. The Aryan, for example, has better genetics than the dark-skinned or the Asian. And this is a fact of life. It is just written in nature. It cannot be denied. But these communists, they try to erase basic common sense, as if they don't seem to understand that there is such a thing as common sense. And they try to impose their terror upon everybody else. They even use this method in Europe. This is why Western civilization is falling apart, because these communistic terroristic types, they're the ones who basically invented gang stalking. They're the mob, and they call it community policing. They have this term even in their political dictionary. It is a type of serious movement. The police uses it, and they hire these informant types. These are the traitors, basically, in the communist regime, in Europe also, in Germany, when the Nazi regime fell and the communists took crap all over the German people. And they had this practice where your own neighbors would stalk you, betray you to the police, to the state, and they would want to ruin your life, basically. They would want to find every petty little reason to sabotage you, to attack you, to harass you, to ruin your life. And this style, it is now everywhere. It is even in the USA, which is very tragic. But it is a fact. It is basically not only in the Asiatic and the Russian landscape, it is now like a plague in Western civilization. And this type of collectivist animal thinking is everything wrong with society. It is everything wrong with this civilization. This is not human thinking. The communist thinking is not human thinking. It is unhuman thinking. It is animalistic. It is unintelligent thinking. It is basically this type of terrorism. It is violence against your sovereignty. It is violence against your personal space. When you begin to analyze this phenomena in the spiritual sense, when you try to get to the bottom of the problem, you begin to see these occult forces which energize this egregor. It is like a thought form which has gained its own life, its own existence, basically, and it is energized by the collective consciousness of every participant in the mob, in every mindless idiot who just follows orders because that's what the state told him, that's what the police pig told him. He just follows orders. He betrays his neighbors, he betrays his fellow citizens, he terrorizes his fellow citizens, he gang stalks his fellow citizens, because he's more akin to a stupid animal than an actual human being. And when you understand this occult driving force, which is at the core of this phenomena, you will naturally feel a very deep sense of annoyance and hatred towards this type of ideology, this type of political style that they use, this type of groupthink that they use. You will truly hate them. You will despise them because you will understand that they want to crush your spirit. They want to destroy you for just being who you are without any reason. They just hate you for being an actual human being who is free-spirited, who has the capacity for free thinking. They just want to impose lies upon you, lies upon lies upon lies. They want to impose their nasty animalistic group on you. And they put conditions that if you don't follow their way of life, they will terrorize you, they will brutalize you, they threaten you to kick you out of civilization, that they want to take away your private property, they want you to starve to death, they want to take your life, these communist terrorists. Do you understand what they are? They are the enemy of mankind. They were never on your side. And these types, they just bring annoyance in the true human, in his consciousness, because they don't serve my personal will. They don't cater to my every wish. They don't treat me like I'm their king. They just want me to stoop down to their level like a stupid animal. And I refuse to do that. I prefer to hold my own space, to stay safe from them, to not allow them to infringe upon my basic human rights, which northern civilization has given me in the political sense. Without the northern countries, we would never have even the concept of basic human rights. In a lot of Asiatic countries, they do not have this concept. They don't even introduce this concept into their civilization. They're basically like insect-minded, hive-minded subhumans, like bio-robots, like these machine type of beings who just don't respect themselves enough to say no to the tyrants. And historically, the Asiatic brutality has proven itself the most evil thing to ever happen in politics. But in the Western world, in Western civilization, the Aryan man has introduced the concept of human rights, and in our countries we should have human rights. We should never allow the tyrants to take away our human rights. We should not settle for their nasty treatment. They want to censor us. The tyrants want to take away our rights, take away our private property, and they want to bring censorship on us. I say no to them. They will never take away my human rights, and they will never take away my freedom of speech. I say, let's fight to the death against these nasty tyrants rather than settle for nothing. Because in the end they will kill off Western civilization if the Western people don't fight against them. If the Western people don't resist this communistic tyranny, Europe will fall. And I don't know how the white man will ever get back up from the fall. If these nasty communist types win, they will destroy the Aryan man utterly and totally, because he's their biggest enemy. His freedom of spirit threatens them. The freedom of spirit threatens the communists' very being. These types of mob group thinking communistic bullies and gang stalkers cannot fathom the concept of human rights. They're basically these NPC characters who are just there to follow orders. Some pig or tyrant or a very evil person gives them some type of order. For example, he tells them to terrorize this person, to gangstalk this person, to ruin the life of this person, and they just obey like mindless slaves, like zombies, that they go and they gangstalk the said person, and they just act mercilessly. They act like very stupid and brutish animals. And these are not human beings who do this, who do the gang stalking, who enjoy terrorizing innocent people. These are dishonorable creatures. That they lack human dignity. They have not understood the concept of human rights. They do not understand the Aryan mind. They do not understand Northern civilization. They just want stupidity, and they want their groupthink and their stupid mob. And I think that there is some type of occult egregor which is in control of them, as if they're not even self animated, so to speak, that they don't animate themselves when they move about, when they do things in society. It's as if they're basically controlled by some kind of algorithm, by some kind of fixed and predetermined state. Like they're always thinking inside the box, so to speak. That they never think outside the box of the devil. They're just boxed people. They're closed in the box of the devil, and they can never escape the box of the devil because they lack the human spirit. And it is only through the human spirit that one can ascend outside of the box of the devil. And these types, it's like they're just functions of an evil system. I'm not even sure if they're actual human beings who actually experience life the same way that I do. for example, they might be more like animals, more like these types of beings who are not capable of reason. They do not respect the ways of logic, the ways of reason, the ways of philosophy. In a certain sense, they're anti-philosophers, because philosophy is the biggest danger towards them. True philosophy, real philosophizing, endangers their communistic, terroristic ideology. They want to put censorship, that they want to destroy spirituality, they do not want spiritual literature. History has shown this, in fact. There were millions of innocent people who were victims, who were killed in the communist terror regimes. And these were free thinkers, these were spiritual people. Some of them were actually Aryan people who were free spirited, and this is why they were mercilessly killed by communism, because this anti-human and animal terroristic ideology cannot stand the human being. It is an utterly anti-human ideology, the communistic ideology, and it just pretends, it puts this false facade, like these sugar-coated slogans and empty promises, but it never delivers. It never gives you what you want. It just takes away from you. It takes away until your whole country has starved to death. But just the tyrant dictator at the top of the satanic hierarchy, he gets the power, the money, all the food, while the people, the peasants, starve. And this is in essence communism. This is why you should never be a part of the mob, part of the peasant mob, because the peasant mob, when the famine hits, they will begin to fight for their life, and they will start eating each other from hunger and from vileness. This is how communism is designed. There will be rivers of blood. It will become this very nasty and ugly spectacle, this type of satanic butchery, where everyone will just fight everyone else, and everyone will try to butcher everyone else. And this is in essence what humans become when they are stripped of their basic rights, when they have no access to resources, to shelter, to food. They become evil, they become cruel, vile, nasty creatures, like a hungry animal, predator, who just wants to eat his prey. And this is what communism shows, basically. This is why these anti-human types, the demonic hive mind subpopulace, loves communism so much, because they want these rivers of blood, that they want this butchery. Actually, they revel in this type of butchery. I actually think that they murder people in their mafia. They probably torture and murder people. But of course they hide this from the ordinary citizen, because they don't want people to see them for who they really are. They want to manipulate the foolish peasant with this false hope, these sugar-coated lies and slogans. But basically, they do not care about humanity. These communists, they just don't care. They just want to do whatever they want to do, to act like animals, to rape, pillage, murder. And the difference between me and them is that I would never lie about human nature. I know that humans are capable of this evil. I will never pretend that some human is this noble creature who would self-sacrifice himself for me or something like that. I would never lie to myself like this. Basically know that people act in an evil way. The bad conditions, they make them act evil. And this is why, in the political sense, there should be human rights, there should be basic income, there should be private property, there should be freedom of speech, there should be free energy. This free energy, it should be allowed, but not in the context of nasty terroristic and Asiatic communism, but in the context of true Aryan freedom, in the way that in the Aryan civilization there is such harmony, and this is how things should be in this world. If this was a good, benevolent world, a good civilization, this is how things would be. And these stupid group thinking mob types, they want to destroy everything good and harmonious. They are anti-spiritual. They're just these very nasty people who create this very unpleasant feeling inside oneself, because when they try to control you and you do not conform to them, and they're very nasty towards you, they don't give you anything, they do not help you with a girlfriend, they do not help you in your love life. They basically isolate you and they torture you, they gang upon you, they bully you. But if you are like a stupid animal like them, and then they can help you, then they can allow you in their ranks, and you can become a part of their mob, their tribe, or whatever they call it. Which just shows their nasty nature, their true colors. They do not respect humanity. They just follow orders, and they are not really honorable. They do not have honor. They do not understand the Aryan concept of honor, and they're very cringy. They're very unpleasant types of people. They want to tell you that biology does not exist, when it does exist, in fact. And basically, if something is predetermined in a biological sense, they're stupid communist ideology cannot change biology. And they're in denial of that fact, that they cannot accept basic common sense. They deny basic reason. They just want people to suffer. This is how they write their laws. This is how they create their anti-freedom slogans, their propaganda. They're anti-pleasure and they are anti-human. They don't want you to have pleasure in life. They just want their nation to starve to death. They want to gang stalk innocent people, and they want to stalk you like dishonorable rats, like these insect-minded rodent rat type of nasty subhumans. This is their style, and they do it to terrorize you. They don't care about your safety. They don't fight crime. They cannot prevent very evil crime. In fact, they are part of crime. They are part of very evil crime. They are part of terrorism. So all of their stalking, all of their surveillance, it is a part of their evil. And they try to lie to you, to tell you that it is to prevent evil, but no, it is not to prevent evil, it is to cause evil. And they take you for a fool. They think that when you have spirit, that you will be fooled by them, but no, you will never be fooled by them, because you will hate them to the core, because they're terrorists. They gang stalk you. They use psychotronic Aryan technology against you. They try to manipulate you. They try to control you against your will. They are your enemies. They're the enemy of humanity. They never prevent bad events or bad crime with their surveillance. They cause bad events and bad crime. They use this surveillance to hide their own crimes. This is how the mob works. This is how groupthink works. This is why they're a group. Because they want to gang up on the one who is alone, on the one who cannot be manipulated by them, on the one who is above them in the spiritual, in the genetic sense. And this is what they do. They specialize in this collective type of terrorism. They use all of this gang stalking, community policing, surveillance to create evil in this world. Not to fight against evil like a true Aryan would do, but to cause evil, to inflict evil upon innocent humans, to deny humans pleasure, to deny humans knowledge of the spiritual worlds. This is why they allow alcohol to be legal and psychedelics not to be legal. Only in a few better countries are these substances legal, because they want humanity to be a bunch of idiots. They don't want you to realize that the system is crooked, that it is designed in this way by the forces of evil, and communism is just one of their methods in their playbook. They use this evil method to crush the human spirit, and they deny humanity pleasure. basically they use this very nasty and stupid method to manipulate you, and they try to deny you spirituality. They don't want you to be spiritual. There's everything wrong with this world. And when I contemplate their mob, their groupthink, the only deep emotion that I feel within myself towards them is hatred, utter hatred. I am annoyed by their stupidity, and I am annoyed by their manipulation, how they only give the benefits to those who join their stupid mob, and they don't give any benefits to the outsider. And I truly hate them. This is what they they want. They want people to hate them. This is the emotion they incite in people's hearts. I think they're internationally hated by every true and real human. I think every real spirited human denies these mob group thinking, community policing types. I think every true human holds no respect for them, and I think it should be that way, because they themselves don't command respect. They only command hatred. They want you to hate them, and they act like stupid and vile and brutish animals who hold no regard for human dignity and who are too stupid to even understand what I am speaking.